Are there certain red flags that I, as a realtor, recognize and try to avoid? For that answer, stick around for the question of the day. What's going on, guys? Matt in the hat. Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. You are tuned in to the hot list. I come to y'all Monday through Friday each and every week, and we hang out and talk real estate. We talk about properties that are new to the market, been on the market, and had some type of price reduction or something unique about the property that I want y'all to know and want to make sure you are aware of. I also answer a question of the day that is submitted by you, the viewer, and to find out how you can get your question submitted and answered on the show, stick around to the end. We also talk about and recognize a sponsor of the week each and every week. This week is no different, and this is a sponsor of the week that just is a supporter of the show and me as a realtor in business. And just like the question of the day, if you'd like to figure out or know more about being a sponsor of the week, all you got to do, stick around to the end of the show. I will cover it all and get your questions answered. So the property we are talking about today is an absolutely phenomenal property. I don't know how else to describe it, but just beautiful and phenomenal. It is, when I say this is a truly unique property, 100% unique property. The address is 151 South Kahola Road in Council Grove, so it's just right down the road. What makes this house special? Not only is it custom built, it is on a private lake and is one of, if not the nicest home on this private lake. It is, oh my God, it is breathtaking, is probably the best word that I can use to describe it. It's a 3-bed, 4.5 bath house, does have a 2-car garage. It's got 3,934 square feet of finished space, currently listed at 1.15 million. And the listing is courtesy of Eck Real Estate. This is a custom built home, and it has stonework that is all along the exterior and is incredible. Just incredible. There's also a guest cottage for that they use as a guest house. It's got a finished basement, and the entire upper level of this house is the master suite. So you want to talk about living high on the hog? This is definitely it. The entire upper level is your master suite, and it has a it's got a custom closet in that master suite as well. Walk-in pantry, the kitchen, nice large kitchen, plenty of area for entertaining both on the main floor as well as the lower level. It's got a newer dock, and it is just, man, I cannot say enough about this house. All you got to do is just click on the link in the description. You do not want to miss this house. You have to click on this link to go check this house out for yourself. Not be disappointed, guarantee it. Absolutely beautiful. If you have any questions about the property, once you are looking at it, all you got to do is just get a hold of me right through my website or come back to Facebook, shoot me a message, and I would be happy to answer whatever I can for you. Before we move on to the question of the day, I do want to recognize and thank our sponsor of the week this week, and that is Next Tech Wireless, right here, located right here in Emporia. They do still have available the new 8th generation iPad with the iPad OS 14. Sorry, that's a lot to say. With iPad OS 14 that has advanced camera features as well as an all-day battery life. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. You have to check this thing out. And while you're there, check out the combination of an Apple Watch as well and see what they have available, what that will do for you if you don't already have one. As somebody who has a smartwatch, not an Apple Watch, mine's more for training than notifications. My wife has an Apple Watch and she absolutely loves it. And I don't know that she would ever live without an Apple Watch after having one. So click on the link in the description. It's going to take you right to Next Tech's page. They are located in the mall and just on the west side of Flint Hills Mall. If you have any questions or if you're concerned about social distancing, their store is ginormous. There's plenty of room to be in there, social distance, keep safe, and get your questions, concerns, or phone or device issues dealt with. So all you got to do is just click on the link. It'll take you right to their Facebook page for their updates as well as address and phone number, and you can go from there. Question of the day. This one is pretty interesting. So the question of the day: have you ever been the one or had to fire a client? So funny story. Not to give away too much too soon, but this actually happened last week. They say breaking up is hard to do. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, and oftentimes it is for the best. One of the highlights of being a realtor working in real estate, besides the freedom and flexibility, is being able to choose who I work with and who I don't work with. And at any point, just knowing that if something is not working out on either side, we can just call it a day, just be done, shake hands, and be on our way. Because I personally, now I can't speak for every realtor, I personally don't want to work with anyone and everyone. There's a saying: if you try to be everyone's cup of tea, you'll end up needing vodka. I believe in that 100%. Now there are times, and can be times, there may be some type of reason to call it quits with a client. Just to give you an idea before I get into it, somebody that won't commit or won't move forward. They keep stalling with some type of process, because home buying and selling itself is an emotional roller coaster. There's highs, there's lows, and you as an agent, I as an agent, have to manage not only your client's emotions but your emotions as well. And more often than not, at the beginning of the process and probably during that process as well, that buyer or seller, whoever one that you're working with and representing, they're going to show you them true selves. Hopefully for you as well as me, that it's going to be early in that process. And what I tell a lot of people, and those that know me know this well, I am not everybody's cup of tea. I am more like a shot of whiskey. Uh, and I've noticed with me, a lot of my buyers and sellers may or may not appreciate my honesty and boldness. I've had some that appreciate it and some that really don't. Because I actually had to call it quits and fire a client last week, because while their communication was great, they started throwing up some of these red flags, and were not being as receptive as I anticipated them being early in our conversation. And when I say receptive, as far as doing what needed to be done to keep moving forward in the process and taking my advice versus trying to show how smart they were compared to me. And y'all know me, I am never the smartest person in the room. If your goal is to show that you are smarter than me, I guarantee you're gonna be. There is a reason that I am in sales. I said it. So what we're going to talk about today are 3 red flags when it comes to clients wasting your time. Number 1 is insistence on delaying a mortgage approval, which is what happened last week in this case. I have had buyers really push me to show them houses before they were pre-approved. There is a disadvantage to not only them as the buyer, but me as the agent, because neither one of us know what they can truly afford. What somebody says they can afford, what they can actually afford, in black and white, two totally different numbers. And I I really don't like to do this because if I don't if they don't know what they can afford, how do they expect me to know what they can afford? And I may be showing them anywhere between 190 to $200,000 homes while they're actually qualified and approved for 140 to 150. Those are two totally different types of houses, and all it does is waste my time, their time, and get their hopes up. Now, a lot of times I have noticed that a buyer may be stalling because they're afraid that their financials aren't truly as good as what they believe or what they're leading on. Uh, some of them I've noticed have been worried about the a slight ding in their credit going through this process. If this is true, there is no way in hell they are truly prepared to make an investment in a house if they're worried about a small ding in their credit report. What I have done in the past, and again, I really don't do this that often or like to do it at all. I have shown one house prior to having a pre-approval as well as a buyer agreement in place. And I'll get into what a buyer agreement is here shortly. I don't make a habit of it, like I said, because it wastes their time, wastes my time, and gets their hopes up. Number two red flag is unwillingness to follow advice. Again, this happened last week as well. If you do not want my professional advice, professional opinion, uh, that is fine. We are not going to move forward together then, because my job is to represent you, your best interest, to the best of my ability. And especially when my advice in a hot market like what we're in right now, if you miss out on opportunities because you're not listening and not taking my advice, that is on you as a buyer, not on me as an agent. And that should give any agent just kind of an insight as far as what type of working relationship you will have with that client moving forward. And along with that, so with that advice on the seller side, if the seller refuses to pick up the house, declutter the house, or even set a reasonable list price, those could all be red flags. This is going to be signs that they don't value your professional opinion, shows they may not trust you. And clients who don't trust their agent will often make decisions that will prolong the sale, and again, resulting in wasting their time as well as your time, not to mention being difficult as hell and making your life miserable during this whole process. And number three red flag, refusal to abide by the agreement. So with buyers, we have an exclusive buyer agency agreement. With sellers, we have exclusive right to sell agreement. Now, these are agreements, contracts, whatever you want to call them, and these are in place for a reason. Uh, these this means that I not only represent you as an agent, that means I owe you my fiduciary duty. I have your best interests in mind, and I work my ass off for you as the buyer or seller. This also means that another agent cannot, try to split a wedge in between client and agent, and cannot try to snipe that client from you because you have signed paperwork, and you can't seek advice as a client. You are discouraged from seeking advice from somewhere from another agent while you are under some type of agreement, whether it's a buyer or seller agreement. So this kind of mean with the buyer agreement, this part of that stipulation and agreement means that you are going to get pre-approved if you're getting a loan, or you're going to provide proof of funds if you're a cash buyer before any showings happen. Clients, I've learned clients who balk or hesitate or even bitch about this are likely to be trouble throughout the entire process and probably throughout the entire relationship that you continue to have with them. So having covered those three, have I ever had to fire a client? Yes, I did. Most recently happened last week. And it is because they started off well and just started to show me who they truly were the further we got into the process, and they always played the victim and that victim mentality, and everybody was out to get them, and I should feel sorry for them, and I need to do this and I need to do that. And that's not how I am. I had a seller last week as well that I went through all this, truly appreciated my honesty and my candor when it came to going to list her house, because I just laid it out. I said, this is what you're wanting for the house. The market and my research doesn't give any valid or proof to that number. What I found and what I discovered, we could do it for this number, no higher. Anything higher after that, then you're asking too much, and people are going to think that there's something wrong with the house if you start off that high and then lower it back down. So yes, I have had to fire clients before. Have I ever been fired as an agent? No. We each time that it's been borderline, we have decided as client and agent to dissolve that relationship, shook hands, and just parted ways, because life is too short. I want to provide for my family. I want to do the best for my clients, and if they are not open or willing to listen, then they are not the client for me. Now, again, I don't tell them what to do. It is ultimately their decision. But if what they are not willing to do that needs to be done, that is something completely different. So let me just clarify there. If you guys have a question that you want answered on the show, all you got to do, you can get a hold of me through my website, which is emporiahomes.kw.com, or you can shoot me a message through Facebook. If you are considering or wanting to be a sponsor of the week and help sponsor the podcast, awesome. I greatly appreciate that. All you got to do, shoot me a message, same way, through my website, through Facebook, and we'll have a talk and see if you are a good fit for as being a sponsor of the show. Because just like being a sponsor of the show as well as a client, we both gotta mesh well, fit together, and be mutually beneficial for each one of us. So thank you guys for watching this, whether you're catching it on Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening. Leave me a comment, leave me a review, let me know how I'm doing. I greatly appreciate it, and can only get better with your help and your feedback. So thanks for watching with Matt in the Hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. Y'all have a phenomenal hump day, and I will see you in here tomorrow.